October 24th, 2019, Grassland, High River. I saw Jesus standing to my right, side by side with him, my head resting on his left shoulder, facing east, gazing at the river, the mountains, and the sun. All I could see were our backs. Meanwhile, I seemed to still be dancing on the grass, showing no intention of moving forward. Jesus sat on the grass beside me. I knew it was time to leave the grass and move forward, towards the river, the mountains, and the sun. But Jesus didn't force me, not at all. He simply stayed with me. I felt reluctant to leave this brief, leisurely time on the grass, this fleeting, easy, and sweet moment. I was also somewhat afraid of facing the unknown road ahead. I didn't know what the river and the mountains on the other side would hold. But I knew I should move forward. I silently looked at the Lord on the grass, without speaking. He knew everything within me. To me, I received the message through my eyes and thoughts. To him, it seemed I needed nothing. Jesus smiled at me, took my hand, and turned with me, facing east, walking forward either to the edge of the grass or to the river. This was a bright, sunny environment, unlike the previous black sea, darkness, and light. I leaned on Jesus' left shoulder, his hand holding me tightly. The river in front of us was rising steadily. The river was much, much higher than the grassy ground, near feet high, perhaps 3 feet or more. Our silhouettes, standing together, looked very small. I silently called out, "Jesus, Jesus." In my heart, I said, "You are my strength." Without saying a word, Jesus knew. I was swept into the river by a wave. November 2nd, 2019, Glacier White Bear. My son, it is I who brought you onto the path of solitude. My dear child, no matter what journey you encounter, I will be with you. I am always here. I saw the Lord standing by the river playing the violin. He was dressed in white, his body radiant, playing the violin by the river, playing for me. He was with me. I was in the river, in very high water. To the north opposite, the sun was shining. To the south, the mountains. The mountains covered more than 2/3 of the landscape, and at their northern corner, the angle between them and the north was the sun. The river flowed from north to south. But the river had risen, 2 or 3 meters higher than the meadow and the riverbank horizon. I was in the river. Jesus had said he would be with me, but I hadn't expected him to be with me like this. He saw me in the river, unsure of what to do. Above the river, in the direction of the sun's light, seemed to be flying angels. Above the angels, in the sky directly above the sun, appeared a heavenly throne, appearing in the clouds. It seemed that Abba Father and the saints, countless saints, were watching my situation in the river below. I was in the water, I couldn't swim at all, and I didn't know what to do, just moving around randomly. He saw that my position in the water was reflected in the opposite mountains, and that I was swimming southward with the current. Suddenly, it occurred to me that I should swim north, against the current, towards the sun, where the sunlight is bright. Swimming south with the current only brings the sun to the mountains, their tall, green peaks casting a shadowy light on the river. I didn't know if I should pray, asking Jesus and the Holy Spirit to turn me around and give me the strength to swim against the current. I didn't understand the Holy Spirit or Jesus' meaning, and I didn't know which direction to swim. Then I saw that I was at the middle of the river, already heading north, at the northern corner of the mountains. I also saw Jesus on the riverbank, playing his violin and walking north. I seemed to understand Jesus' meaning, and I began to swim north in the river. Because it was against the current was strong. Seeing my movements like a swimmer, struggling to move forward but seemingly unable to, the music of Jesus gave me great strength, and I swam forward. I had left the middle line and was swimming north, leaving behind the shadows. The sunlight shone on the water, and the atmosphere became joyful and bright, encompassing Jesus on the riverbank and shore, the angels in heaven, and the throne and saints in the clouds above. On the river, ahead of where I was swimming, there was a huge white rose. But the moment I saw it, the atmosphere changed instantly. The clouds seemed to fall silent, as if watching me with concern. The angels also watched me with worry, and Jesus stopped playing his violin. I immediately sensed the sudden shift in atmosphere and knew the rose was fake. I looked at Jesus on the bank with pleading eyes. The white rose transformed into a polar bear, an ice bear, or a polar bear, walking towards me on the water. I looked at Jesus with pleading eyes. Jesus watched me begin to play the violin, his position on the bank always mirroring my position in the river.